Hello and welcome to week 2 of Building Theed. As you can see, this is where we left off last week. We just basically set out my plans. And now we're going to work on the two main platforms at the front. But before that, we have a BrickLink order. Okay, and the second package is this one. I won't show you my address in the front or in the back. But in here should be a bunch, yes, of Gungans, everyone's favourite alien race from Star Wars. Now, these were at a really good price. These cost, I think they were like £1.80 each. I was like, those will be useful for Naboo. So I picked up 5 Gungan just warriors, 1 Jar Jar because I already have a Jar Jar, but I just wanted 1 more just to bulk up the army a bit. And then I've got 4 shields here. One of them has got a bit of a weird pattern. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it looks cool because the other ones don't have it. Didn't even realise that there was a difference, but I still like it. It's cool. Unfortunately, they only had 4 shields that I could buy for the 5 figures, but I'm not really that fussed. They're still looking good. So that's the figures, and sorry, that's the haul section of this video. So let's move on to the actual building. Okay, so I started the layouts for these platforms. I've gotten rid of all the buildings behind. I realised I wanted to make these quite a little bit bigger than they were initially. So yeah, I've just decided that on each of these platforms I'm going to have a snot technique going all around the outside of each one using these particular panel pieces. It means they have to be stepped up by 1 plate. So that's what these red plates are for over here. It's just these plates over here that I'm if I can get them apart, yeah, talking about. Just these 1x2 by 2, I guess, panel pieces. So they'll be lined like that all along and should hopefully create a really good look on top of it. So yeah, let's see how that looks. Yeah, I'm back a bit later and I've thrown up quite a few of these. I'm just going to use these pieces for the edges and the corners of each one. I've left an 8 stud gap on stairs for either side on both of these platforms, and they're looking pretty good. So let's keep building up and put some filler on the inside. Okay, so it's the next day and we've made a little bit of progress. I've built up this layer all the way up to this point here. I put in a second layer of what are these called? Side snot panel type things, and changed up the bottom to make it easier to put pieces on here now. And the way I've maneuvered this the sides of them to be fully snot means that I can have, well, my current plan is to do a snot flooring along the bottom of this mock, and then these 3 I can use for like side detailing of these podiums. These gaps on both sides will be used for stairways to go up. But I think this snot, if I get like a bigger bit of, will look really good. Obviously I'll put more detail into it on a larger scale when it goes across the whole mock, and I think it'll overall have a really cool look to it. So yeah, we're going to see how that turns out. Oh, I'm not going to do this snot this week. I'm going to work on these podiums, but that's my current thoughts. Let's work on the tops. Not the tops, let's actually work on the stairs. I think that'll be an easier place to start on these. So it's the next day again. I've been working on a couple of little designs. I've figured out the stairs. I'm going to go for like a sort of like uneven look on all of them. So that's the ones there, and then we'll fill down it on the other side. My next bit is to work on the top. If you look at like the Battlefront game, these platforms have these like almost like flower beds on them, these like plant sections. So I've put together a design of one of those here just on this plate. So I'm going to replicate that. I'm going to take this off the plate and put 1 here and then 1 on the other one. So hopefully they'll look quite good. I've gone the way I've designed this, because grass is like really like finicky to put together, especially if you want to do it on every stud. So if I take away one of these bricks, I just feel like I'm going to break everything, so I'm just going to hold it together for now. But if you look, I've actually got one of the old plant stems and one of the newer ones in that way. And the way I'm holding them together is by using these like this, and then just followed by one of the regular plant stems, like this one here. So it's just like that, all together in a row, filling up that gap, and it comes out with a pretty cool design, I think. So I'm going to put those together and put those on each of these now. Okay, so just a small addition next. I've put in these two little towers on either sides of the platforms, which I think even just by adding this in, it already looks like feed, and like it does in whatever media. So I'm really happy with how these have turned out, even though, because the structures are quite weird to build, so I think this is just quite a good like approximation of them. So now I'm going to tile up these bits on both sides. I'm going to go for like a similar, like with these pieces, I'm going to go with a similar messy style I went with this, but instead of going for these two colours, I'm going to go with these two colours, and maybe a little bit of light bluish green as well. Just see how that turns out. So let's have a look. Okay, so I've just finished this platform now, and there is a problem with it. I like everything about this, it looks really good to me, apart from this stud, this stud, this stud, and this stud, that stud. I just kind of think they really break up the mock, so my plan now is to dig this out and put a plate on it, a tile there, which I've noticed when moving on to this one, which I started first, is not an easy thing to do, and it's turned out to be a very annoying process, but now I've begun, I must finish and then do it on the other side as well. So I'll see you once I've sorted out those. And there we have it. This is the finished progress for this week. As you can see, we've gotten quite a lot done for just 1 week. As you can see, I've taken down all the planning stuff to just primarily work on these as I go. So I've got these two platforms almost complete. I've just put some figures on them quickly to just show how it'll kind of look when it's finished. So I've got all my Gungans out there. I've given them these weapons with just flick fire missile pieces and some Chima crystals on top, which I think looks quite good. Although I might just replace them with spears, but I think they look quite good as how they are. And I've put the flash speeder and AT and the AAT in their own respective places. So I think you're almost already starting to see how this comes together, especially with my big temple, which is planning to go here. And then just some other smaller buildings, maybe some like taller towers on either side here. So yeah, as you can see, I put in those just 1 by 1 tiles, and they look so much better with them like that. So you can see around here, I've put Jar Jar hiding down one of those, which I think is quite funny. So next week's progress should be completing both of these. I want to finish like a slight railing down all of these, and I also want to do that tile and plate mashup thing I was talking about around the outside of them. And I think that'll be a really cool look. Maybe I can get to work on the snot flooring, which I think will come next, and then I'll move on to the towers, and then I'll probably finish up with the temple as the final piece I put together, but that'll be weeks away. So yeah, next week, look forward to these getting finished. I think we've gotten a lot of work done for the time, and I can't wait to see you next time. So if you enjoyed this week of building Theed, like the video, comment on what you think of how it's going, and if you have any ideas on what I can incorporate into this mock or what I can do next, Subscribe for more content just like this, and other types of mocks and whatever, just Lego related stuff. So until next time, goodbye.